Haven't been live in so long. I'm like confused. All right, I think we're on and popping. All right, good morning and happy Monday, everyone, or whenever you are tuning into this broadcast. Happy New Year. I know I'm like 7 days late, my bad. I have been on vacation for the last couple of weeks, and I am excited to be back in the office here at work, ready to start the year strong. If you are new here, hello, my name is Kashira. I am a business and brand strategist. I specialize in helping up and coming business owners master their messaging, package their expertise, and create consistent revenue in their business. And you can learn more about me and my services at thepowercollective.co. I'm super excited to talk to you all today with just a couple of super quick tips on how you can start 2020 off strong. I know the New Year spirit is still around. I've been seeing everyone talking about their amazing goals, especially in my Facebook group, which if you're not in my Facebook group, you should totally join us. It's called The Power Circle. The link is in my Instagram bio, and I'll make sure to put it everywhere else. But we've been talking a lot about what goals we have for the year, what our word of the year is, and I want to continue with that trend before we start diving into our marketing content and our branding content, our messaging content, which I have a ton of that coming for you. Stay tuned this month. I just wanted to start off with some just general goal setting tips, especially those focusing on the law of attraction, just to help you to start the year off strong with your goals at the forefront. As I go along, you are more than welcome to ask questions. I'm streaming on a new system on Facebook and LinkedIn, so if I don't see your comment real time, I will reply to you once I hop off. But let's jump in with my notes. So the first thing I want you to do with your 2020 goals, right? I know you all have already done your goal setting. You already know what you want to do. You've probably wrote it down somewhere in a journal. You may have even made a vision board, which is awesome. I'm so excited about that. But what I want you to do is I want you to take the 2020 goals that you've set, and I want you to rewrite them and put them someplace you will see them every single day. This does not need to be pretty, okay? I'm not telling you to go and print something. I'm not telling you to go and buy no cute poster board. What you can do is get some little post-it notes, right? Whatever size you want. You can do it where you write everything on one, or maybe you write one goal per post-it, but I want you to rewrite your post-it, your goal. So if your goal is, I want to make $250,000 in 2020, you're going to rewrite that, but you're going to write it in present tense, okay? And then once you've rewritten it, I want you to then put it somewhere where you will see it every single day, okay? Even if you have a vision board, I want you to do this. Trust me on this. So normally where I put mine is I normally put them on my computer. Like I have a desktop computer in addition to my laptop, and I will put along the bottom all of my goals all around it. If you have a whiteboard that you look at every day, you could put that there. So I did this at home, but now that I'm in my home office, I'm actually going to redo this on this little whiteboard behind me, okay? I want you to redo that. If you've been with me for a while, I talked to you about how I have my manifestation wall, and it's a big, giant, ugly white post-it note where I wrote my goals at the top, and then at the bottom I put what I actually manifested, okay? So I want you to put it where you can see it. Something else that I like to do is I actually take my planner for the year. This is one of the planners I use. I was gifted this from my lawyer, but this is from the brand Create and Cultivate, and they actually had a vision board section. So I actually used the 2 pages to put one division board, and then I did I wrote my goals in Canva and printed it. And I only did that because my handwriting isn't very pretty. So I put it in here, print it, but I'm carrying this with me all the time. And so I like to have this. So that's another thing that you can do. But at minimum, I really want you to put it on something that you will see every day. Think of like the Being Mary Jane show. She's got those post-it notes all over her house. The reason why I want you to do this is, one, writing things down give them power. Writing things down as if you already have them give them power. It just sends out positive vibrations and energy into the world, right? That's one. Two, if you haven't experienced this, then you know somebody that has, right? Where they start the year off strong, they have all of these great goals in mind, and then by February they've forgotten them, they don't matter anymore, and it's like life just continues to move. But if you actually see it every single day, it's going to encourage you to take action on that goal every single day. You're going to then go ahead and lay a brick, right? Like I say, lay a brick every day. You're going to start working towards that goal and building up towards that goal, okay? So I really want you to do that. So even if you already have a pretty planner, even if you have a great app, all of those things are awesome. I'm not telling you not to do that, but this is something I want you to do as extra. Just at minimum, say you're doing it for me, okay? So just as something that's extra, okay? So that's the first point. I want you to write your goals somewhere where you can see them, okay? Now let's start taking action towards the goal. So the second thing I want you to do is I want you to look at your goal list, and I want you to figure out what you actually need to accomplish that goal. And I'm thinking from a resource standpoint, right? So what resources do you need? What tools do you need? What systems do you need? What people help, do you need? What skills do you need? And then also, what kind of plan of action are you going to need to actually bring this goal to life? Sometimes we set these goals that are huge, which is okay. It's good. You want to stretch yourself, but we aren't really thinking about what do I actually need to accomplish this so that you can start working towards it. Because some of our bigger goals, there's going to be a step-by-step process, right? If I take my goal of saying, hey, I want to make $250,000 this year, but I don't really sit down and think about what is it going to take for me to do that, right? Something as simple as, well, at my current rates and my current services, how many clients am I going to need to serve all year round to hit that goal, right? Or, well, if I want to make $250,000 and that means I'm trying to scale up, what kind of technology do I now need to support my business as I look to do that, right? And some of these things, as you're starting to write down what you need, you may not be able to get every single thing right now, right? The goal isn't to overwhelm you or make you feel like something is impossible and all of that. It's really starting to work towards it, right? So if there's maybe some technology you need, but you can't pay for it right now, okay, great. At least you know that you need it so you can save up for it or keep your eye out for a sale or whatever else, right? So really thinking about, what am I actually going to need? You don't want to go into your goal process blind. Like, yes, with law of attraction, we are attracting things to us. We are equipped with everything that we need, but we also need to be reasonable, right? Like the Bible says, faith without works is dead. So we need to actually understand what we need to actually make this goal happen, right? And especially when it comes to revenue goals, a lot of the time, you really just need to raise your prices and get some help on sales if you don't know how to sell, right? So again, just thinking through, if I know that I have a goal of now raising my prices, that's something that's actionable that I can do. If I know that I need to hire a coach to help me with my marketing or help me with my sales, and that's something that I'm going to work towards. So I then want you to take it and figure out what you need. The third step, if you're just coming in, this is just a super quick live stream on how you can really just take power over the new year, maximize the new year, and just really get your goals in order. So then the next step is I want you to take your big goals, your big actionable, scary goals, right? And I want you to then break them down into measurable milestones, okay? When I learned how to do this is when I started to really see my goals truly manifest, right? So taking that big goal, right? And you may say, hey, by the end of December 2020, I want to hit this revenue goal of my business. Okay, well, let's break that down to quarterly, monthly, weekly, daily if you need to. Let's then break that down by service, by product, by price point, all of those different things. And so now, instead of having this looming goal of making $250,000 on top of me, maybe I just have a looming goal of making $20,000 a month. And if I sell, hypothetically, if I sold something that was $5,000, then that means I need 4 people to say yes to me per month to hit that goal. That now seems so much easier and so much more reasonable than that big goal that I had, right? So you want to take that big goal and break it into measurable milestones. I know when you're doing this might feel fluffy, right? It may feel like pointless. Like I should be out here marketing or working out or doing whatever it is that your goal is. But a lot of times when we just jump right into the goal with no plan, we're increasing the likelihood of us falling off. And we're increasing the likelihood of us not actually seeing it. So when we break things down to measurable milestones and we start to make things more reasonable, we're increasing our likelihood of success, okay? So I want you to take that big goal and break it into measurable milestones. And there is no such thing as a milestone that is too small. The thing that makes a milestone good is that you're making it actionable. It's something that you can, and that's why I'm saying measurable milestone and not just milestone. And this be something that you can say, this happened, let me check it off, right? If your goal is to lose 30 pounds and you say, I want to lose 3 pounds per month as my milestone, it's something that you can actually check off. You can see, did I do this thing, right? And then I like to evaluate every month. And if you want to, you can do this every week. It just depends on what kind of goal you have, because what I'm giving you is applicable to life, not just business, right? But after each month, I like to assess what worked and what didn't. If you downloaded my 2019 year in review workbook, you saw that one of the things I asked you to do after you evaluated how much money you made and how much money you spent and all of this, that I said, well, what worked and what didn't? What were your successes? What were some things that you feel like could have went better and they didn't, right? So breaking them down into measurable milestones, and that goes to point number 4, which is then set dates for those milestones. This is where you are pushing yourself to grow and stretch and rise beyond, because you want to give yourself enough time to make it happen, but you also don't want to take all day, right? And so this is what actually forces you to now be a goal getter and start and being an achiever. You're pushing yourself to make these things happen. And so for me, if I know, hey, I need to hit 20K in revenue and I need to get these amount of clients, and I know by January 31st I need to have had 4 clients, in this particular service. And again, that's a hypothetical example, but you want to set dates for those milestones, and those dates are your review points, right? And if you don't hit that milestone in time, that's okay. You don't just give up, you carry it over, but you also look to see what happened during that time frame that made me not hit this goal, right? And sometimes it's good things. Sometimes it's another opportunity came through and, hey, this goal is now being shifted. But if you have that consistent check-in review mindset when it comes to your goals, you're just increasing your likelihood of success all around, okay? And then last but not least, after you've done all of these things, now you start to execute. And now you start to build the foundation and the framework for your success, right? And so thinking about what it means to execute, it's really looking at all of the measurable milestones you've set and just starting to tackle it, right? And I know when you think about all of the different goals that you may have, it may seem overwhelming, but I really feel like when it comes to being overwhelmed, it's really about how you're choosing to view something. And it's really about, are you choosing to look at this as something that's scary and intimidating, or are you choosing to look at this as an opportunity to grow yourself? Are you choosing to look at this as an opportunity to stretch yourself? Are you using this as an opportunity to right your wrongs and correct yourself and correct your path? Are you using this as an opportunity to now elevate, right? And the good thing about feeling overwhelmed is that that's a sign of discomfort, which means that that's a sign of getting ready to level up. But what happens is the difference between just being uncomfortable and being overwhelmed is sometimes in overwhelm, you give up. You throw in a towel, you stop, you turn around, you go home, right? Versus being uncomfortable, it's just you're uncomfortable, but you're still there, right? You're still pushing. And that is why people always say, you're getting ready to level up when you're uncomfortable. You have to do things that don't feel comfortable to you. If you're too comfortable all the time, I'd like to argue that you may not be seeing growth and traction in your business, in your life, or whatever it is, right? There's always going to be, I was talking to my assistant about this morning. There's always going to be something at each level, right? There's always going to be a new problem, a new skill you need to learn, a new weakness, something's going to happen, right? But it's really about, again, how you're choosing to look at it, right? Are you choosing a growth mindset over a fixed mindset? Are you choosing positivity and abundance over negative thinking and pessimism, right? Are you choosing to look at this as a chance to just make a difference, right? Depending upon what your goal is, right? If I'm just thinking about business and things like that, right? So again, don't just throw in that towel, but really look at this as a chance to level yourself up. Recognize that if I push through this discomfort, I work through this discomfort, I feel the fear and I do it anyway, then again, that's increasing my likelihood of me being successful. That is now putting points on the board in my corner for me to actually realize the dreams and goals and aspirations that I have. So I'm hoping that makes sense, and that you feel that. I do have on my podcast, which is called The Bombshell Diaries, a lot of different episodes on goal setting and action planning and things like that. So that's another resource for you. The Bombshell Diaries is all over everywhere. Apple Music and Spotify, Apple Podcasts and all of those different things. But before I wrap up, I really want to let you know that I'm hosting a free webinar, my first one of 2020, on January 15th at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's called Lux Launch, How to Create an Irresistible Brand in 2020. The link to register is in my Instagram bio. It's also here on the screen for you. I'm also doing a live encore if you missed the 15th on the 17th at noon. So when you register for one, you're signing up for both. So just know that there's an opportunity for both days and both times. So make sure you sign up for that. You can add it to your measurable milestone list of how you're going to grow your business and hit your revenue goals for the new year. With that, I wish you all the best with starting your year off strong, and I'll talk to you all in the next live stream. Bye.